evaluation administrator. I won the Democratic primary in spring, so I'm over here campaigning for in the fall. I was in the PDA office for 22 years, and circumstances sort of got me where I couldn't go back, so I'm going to have to go back and try to win it. After Mr. Hall died, I didn't get appointed, so now I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to get out and try to earn it.
That's right.
Everybody's vote.
That's right. Well, it's good to see you here at the festival, and we'll look forward to seeing you for the rest of the weekend, and good luck on your campaign, and
we'll be right here, and the people in Jenkins are great. They're super fantastic people. Y'all to shoot all of them, and have pictures of all of them. They're great people.
Yeah, we're having a lot of good music here this weekend, so it's a nice place to come out and visit in the fall every year.
Yeah.
So thank you for talking to us.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right.
Thank you all.
We're here with Mayor Todd DePriest, and we're here at Jenkins Days Festival, and we just wanted to come and say hello and see how you're enjoying the festival so far.
We're having a great time. It's weather's perfect, a lot of people out. Biggest crowd we've had on Thursday night. I've talked to different vendors, and they say they did as much about halfway through the day as they did last year at the same time.
Yeah, it's awesome. How many years have you been mayor?
Almost 4 years. I was city administrator for 3.5 years before that. Been on city council 5 times. So I really enjoy it.
Do you? Do you have a real good rapport with the citizens of Jenkins?
Well, we think so. We try to help, do what we can, do what we can.
Yeah, well, this is a really good turnout for the Jenkins Days Festival.
It is, and our festival committee does a lot of great work in the fire board. They raise money, they have sponsors that makes it happen. They start the month after we get ready for next year. So it's just a lot of work to put this on. City employees, and police department, fire department, it just takes a lot of people to make it safe and make it festival.
It's a full-time job. Well, we're really happy to be working with you now here at ARC, and we're glad that you've given us this opportunity, and we're trying to get out and do more here in Eastern Kentucky and here in Letcher County.
The coverage is great. We enjoy seeing every show we see. We like to see a lot of stuff in Eastern Kentucky, and y'all done a great job, and continue.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you around the festival here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, here we are at the Jenkins Days Festival, and we're talking with Miss Linda Willoughby, who is our guest of honor here this year, and she is one of the most amazing artists that anybody has ever seen. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your work and your experience here this year?
Well, I was so welcome last year that I had to come back. They called me in January and to make sure I was coming, and I thought, it's awfully hard. What's going on? And I got here, and then it put me on the tour. So I said, but anyway, I had to hustle to get some new pieces. So I've got a few new pieces here from the Letcher County area. Yeah. And I have 3 down here that actually are sold. They're commissioned.
So beautiful, so beautiful. We were talking to the Jenkins mayor a little bit ago, and he said that the committee starts working on this festival the month after this is over. So they really work on it all year round, full time, to get this put on and to make it safe and make it such a big success. And so we're really glad that you came.
Yeah, I see it's an enormous amount of work.
Yeah.
It's very well coordinated.
Yeah, they do a really good job here in Jenkins, and we're just so happy and honored that you're here, and we hope that you'll keep coming back every year. Thank you so much for coming. Hello, we're here again at Jenkins Days Festival, and we're talking to Mr. D.L. Hammonds. He's running for sheriff as our Republican candidate, and we're going to ask him a little bit about what he's doing down here and how it's going.
Yeah, I'm going to help the kids out, and the policemen will have respect for everybody and anybody. And the sheriff is made for law and order, and it's for protect and serve.
Yes.
You know, and so we will be a good deputies. All of them will be good deputies, and have special deputies, which we don't have now.
Yeah,
So-
respect is a very big thing
Yeah,
for people in the
everybody will be
community.
respected, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody will.
You're the only Republican candidate since
yeah.
the primary.
Yeah.
And do you see a good turnout?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
All through the county, and all through the Jenkins up here.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Isom next.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it seems like we've had a real good turnout here at Jenkins Days.
Yeah.
And so have you had a chance to get to know the people in the community today?
Yeah. And I love all the people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy meeting them and talking to them, and having a good time with them. You know.
Yeah, well, we're sure glad to see you up here, and we're glad that you took a few minutes to speak with us here. So tomorrow we're having the parade that's going to be coming down, and all of the candidates will be here. And so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
we do,
Especially here
yeah.
in Appalachia, in the mountains. You know.
And I'm more into taking care of the kids, keeping them off of drugs, you know, and
Yeah.
educating them, you know, in school. I'll be
Education
going
is
to all
a
the
big
schools
part of it.
through the
yeah.
Board of Education, you know, and I'll be teaching them, you know.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of like the McGruff.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
yeah.
you know,
Tell-
that's what we need.
Tell them what it'll do to their family and their friends, you know, in their own body.
Well, a
It-
lot of the kids here in this area have grown up with addiction in their families.
They have, yeah, and we got to put a stop to that, you
Yeah.
know, slow it down, stop it.
A lot of the kids today, they already know what addiction is
Yeah.
because their mommies or their daddies or their grandparents or, you know, their uncles or aunts, somebody in their family
Yeah.
has dealt with addiction.
Sure
and
has,
it
yeah.
it doesn't just affect
Yeah.
the addict, it
Yeah,
affects the entire family
Yeah,
around.
and we need a rehabilitation, you know, for them, for like they do in Barbersville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
We
what,
have some.
200 women. You
We
know.
have some, but
Yeah.
we do need
Yeah,
more of an
more. Yeah, we need
interaction
more.
with law enforcement
Yeah,
and the people in the community.
Yeah,
Um,
and they need to, you know, we need to get out more, the police departments, you know.
Yeah.
And I will. I'll be going all the time. I'm single, and I'll be going all the time. And the sheriff office will be opened up all the time too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see to that.
Yeah. Even if it's you out
Yeah,
driving
it's gonna
around.
be me. Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
keeping it open. You know, they close up early now. And on Friday night, you have to call the state trooper.
Yeah.
It's hazard
Yeah.
911, and that won't go on no more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we're sure glad to talk
Yeah,
to you,
yeah.
and you give us hope, brother.
Yeah,
you give
yeah,
us hope
yeah.
for community policing.
Yeah. I
So
hope
thank
so.
you, DL.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you
Okay.
talking to us.
Yeah, it's good talking to you.
All
yeah.
right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Jones with ARC TV, and we're standing here with Barry Ingalls, who is one of our candidates for sheriff down at the Jenkins Days Festival. And so how did you like the big turnout that we've had here at Jenkins Days so far?
I've been really impressed. There's a lot of people here. This is my first venture into politics, and I didn't realize, other than working these, I didn't really have any idea how much goes into it. Todd DePriest and the city council's done a really magnificent job getting all this together.
Yeah, he told us that the month after this is over, they start working for the next year.
I can believe it. I
Yeah.
can really believe it.
How many years have you worked with the sheriff's department?
I retired from the state police 6 years ago, and upon retirement, I went to work for Danny Webb at the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. Prior to that, I was with the state police for 25 years.
So you have an extensive amount of experience in law enforcement.
I'm one of the old guys, yeah. So.
Well, let me ask you, what is your stance on community policing?
It's a really good tool. However, the situation here is the same with every other situation in the coal fields. We are kind of restricted by the amount of money that's we can use to hire people. As of right now, we only have 3 deputies, counting myself, along with Sheriff Webb, and we can work day shifts, but we just don't have the ability or the finances to have 24-hour around-the-service police officers right now. We would like to, but it's just not feasible at this time.
Well, you know, community policing is its premise is getting out into the community, you know, getting to know the people that you serve,
Absolutely.
you know, and one of the things that I really like about these festivals and having you all here is that it gives you all a chance to get to know people that you didn't know
Yeah, that's
prior, you know.
That's true. The way things are, the only time we're called to a residence is when there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's really good that we can get out and do this and let people see the other side of us and let them know that we're not strictly law enforcement officers and that
You're not just there to arrest them.
Yeah, we're not just there to arrest them, but we're people too, and we can have a good time with everyone else.
Yeah, well, we thank you for being here and taking the time to get to know everybody and letting the people get to know you.
My pleasure.
And so thank you, and we'll see you next time.
I'll be right
And
here.
this
Thank
is
you.
Elizabeth Jones with ARC TV, and we serve the Central Appalachian region. So we'll see you next time.
Not a big old guy. No, man, come here, baby. Somebody did that the other night too. Almost. Okay, we're rolling. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Jones. We're down here at the Jenkins Days Festival, and we're having a real good turnout tonight, having a lot of people here, and we're here with Mr. Benny, and I'm going to let you talk about what you're running for and what your candidacy is, and so let us have it.
Well, I want to say this first of all. I appreciate everybody's support in the primary. We were able to come through that with a good win, and I sure appreciate that. And I just want to thank everybody for all their help and everything that they turned out and showed great support. And we're here at Jenkins Days again this year. It seems like we campaigned for a long time, but we worked hard, and we were blessed to be able to get through that. You know, our purpose and goal for running for magistrate is to see if we can do better for the county. You know, I know we're in economic hardship, and there's a lot of things going on that's hurt us, with loss of jobs and things, but hopefully if we can get enough of us together and get to working together and do good, that we can bring some industry in and be able to get everybody on the same page and you know, and recruit some good businesses, let people know what we've got here in Letcher County. You know, we got an industrial park, got beautiful towns like our city of Jenkins, and you know, we're blessed here, and we would love to have some industry and some jobs.
One of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize is what a magistrate does. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly a magistrate does?
Well, really, magistrates are a board of government, sort of like the city council is here in town. They assist the judge. They sort of oversee their district, make sure the roads and things like that and the structures are okay. And you know, that's one of the big things. Help, you know, balance the budget is one of the bigger things. So they look at the financial side and the stability of the county, and the main thing is work together to try to build up the county. You know, that's the thing.
Of the judge executive.
Yes,
right?
yes, the county judge executive, yes.
And so you, the different magistrates from the different areas come together like on a board?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Yes.
And make up one big group.
Right.
That help him do his job.
Yeah, we assist him. You know, he's the judge executive, so it's his job, you know, to sort of do the running of the county, and it's our job to assist him in that and to be able to, you know, for one guy to oversee the entire county. It's a big county.
Yeah.
You know, 24,000 some people, and it's a big county. So, you know, I think it's good for us to assist each other. You know, for the magistrates to join together and help each other. And if I'm struggling in my district, it'd be great for all the magistrates to come here or me to go there, and let's help one another and
have that support.
Right.
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, you don't have an opponent in the fall.
Yes.
So you're pretty much smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I really am. But as of right now, no opponents. So we're glad. We're glad of that.
Well, you have a lot of support in this county.
We did. We were very blessed and very thankful for everybody that came out and showed great support behind us.
Well, just a little bit of a disclaimer. He goes to the same church that I do sometimes, so
Yes,
he's a good Christian man.
Yeah, we do visit there. It's wonderful place.
Yeah. Well, thank you for talking to us, and we're excited that everybody's here. this weekend, and I'm sure we'll see you at the next festival.
That sounds great. We appreciate you.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Jones again with ARC TV, and we're still down here at Jenkins Days Festival, and we've ran into Mr. Bert Sloan, who has just won the jailer position. So we're going to let him talk to us and tell us a little bit about how things are going and what's getting ready to take place down here in your new administration.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of research, finding out what the jailer's job is, been looking at the law. I'm really excited. It seems like it's million years away, because I've got like 109 days until I take office. I'm excited. I've been just looking at some programs to try to implement into the jail that would be positive programs that may be able to help people what time they are incarcerated. It's the duty of the jailer to incarcerate people and hold them until they are released by the courts. And what time I got them there, I'd like to be able to get them some programs that maybe would help them out a little bit.
Yeah. Have you been looking into the living conditions of the jail down there?
Well, I've been by the jail a couple times, and I understand that it's not something that's just Letcher County, it's around the state, that there is overcrowding in the jail system around the state, not only the jails, but the penitentiary as well.
Are you committed to doing whatever it is that you have to do to try to better those kinds of conditions?
I'll do my very best.
Absolutely.
But now,
I believe in you, brother.
But now one of the things that you got to consider is any time that you're dealing with a jail situation, it's not the jailer that holds them. We're the ones that hold them, but it's the courts and the police officers that make the arrest and the judge that commits them to the jail. And upon their release, that comes from pre-trial, comes from the judge, and it comes from Department of Corrections. Just depends what level you're held under.
Right.
But we'll do as much as possible to try to alleviate any problems that we have. But now it's something that's going on across eastern Kentucky.
Yes.
So we'll look at that. And
are you looking at grants? Trying to get into some grant money?
I have been. I got some stuff from a lady from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office that she sent me that might apply to us. I've not seen these grants before. I've not been involved with this before, but we're looking at them. I've talked to a few people, and hopefully we're going to get some, maybe get some funds for that.
Yes. Are you going to try to implement? I know that we have a few jail ministries that come down there. Are you going to try to make that an important part of letting Christian vetted, but are you going to make that an important part of holding people, is the availability to Christian people?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's a very important part of the process.
Yes.
Is developing a support system for people that are hooked on drugs, and I find that when people talk about being hooked on drugs, that's one of the things that they heavily rely on.
Yes.
I have talked to some ministers, and I've talked to different ministers across the county. But yeah, that's something, it's going on now, and that's something that will continue. And if we can actually step
Build
it up,
on it.
Yeah, if we can step it up a little bit more, then we'll try to get that process going on more than what is going on right now.
Yeah.
But that's something that's been going on for years, and it's a much needed service.
Yes.
And as it gets closer, I've talked to a lot of people. I've even talked to you. As it gets closer to my time to take office, I'd like to sit down with some folks and maybe do some brainstorming, come up with some ideas and some programs that we can implement in the jail that will be able to successfully help people prepare for when they are released from jail.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen personally is it's idle hands. When you have too much time on your hands, you get yourself in trouble. So a lot of times when people are in that drug environment, they forget what they like. They don't have hobbies anymore. Their brains are not focused in on things that they can do other than the drugs and all of the stuff that comes with that lifestyle. So I'm really happy that you're going to start implementing programs in there that helps people, like maybe possibly painting or gardening or something that teaches them a skill, something that teaches them how to use their time wisely instead of, being bored boredom is a big thing that happens or that causes relapse.
I agree with you 100%. I've actually talked to a lot of different people about the things that they're associated with. Some of them are people that deal with the NA, and some of those people have come forward and asked that if we can meet, that they would like to come in. Activities that will be beneficial. I know that it's going to be a tough job.
Yeah.
But I am absolutely just really excited about the situation. In 4 years I may look and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I've done." But I'm absolutely excited about the situation. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Something that I thought about was possibly partnering with the extension office, and you could grow tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets, stuff like that. That's really simple and easy to do and to teach people how to do.
Well, that's something that anybody that comes with an interest, that we can sit down and talk about it, and if it's something that's beneficial for the program that I'm trying to run, I'm definitely interested in talking to people about that. Whether it be community members, whether it be heads of church, just anybody that has any kind of ideas of being able to make things better. I'm really interested in that.
So you hear that right now from our jailer, our new jailer. If you have some ideas, come down and talk to him and let him hear them. And we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And I'm Elizabeth with ARC TV, and we'll see you next time. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Jones with ARC TV, and we're still down here at Jenkins Days Festival, and we're talking to our Jenkins Mayor, Todd DePriest. And I wanted to ask you, we've heard a lot of things about what the big projects that are being thought of here in Jenkins. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Which one you want to know about? We've got a lot of stuff in the works.
Well, one night when we were down here at the city council meeting, we heard about the possibility of a train caboose coming in.
Yeah, we're still working on the logistics, trying to get it here. I'm pretty sure that CSX is going to work with us to donate one. It's a matter of how close they can get it to us, where we're going to set it, and get it moved to town. So we're trying to pick a place for it that'll be good for a long time. So
it'll bring some kind of tourism here, even if it's just a couple people at a time.
Well, anything to give it something that we haven't had for years. They've talked about a caboose. We've got the Railroad and Coal Museum, so it'll be something in addition to it, maybe even somewhere else, been on the best use for it. And we're trying to talk to some different folks, trying to figure out the best place to put it.
Yeah. Did I hear something about a pub coming to Jenkins?
That's news to me. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. That's talk for you.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a real good turnout for Jenkins Days so far, and I'm really excited about the parade that they're going to have tomorrow. It seems like there's going to be quite a few of our youth involved in it.
And more, it's built about every year. They've sort of got away from bands and floats and all that stuff, so we're working real hard to try to get that back in there and get that kind of pride back into it. People's busy, don't have time a lot of times to do stuff like that, but that's sort of a community building thing to get together and put stuff like together. So, we hope everybody comes out in the morning for the parade and supports it, and hopefully it'll be even bigger next year.
Yeah, one of the things that I've talked to some of the candidates for sheriff about is community policing, and I know that we have a real lack of funding. Where we are geographically makes that very difficult with funds. Yeah. So I know that we have a few law enforcement officers, but how do you feel about your officers actually getting out into the community and getting to know people on a different level other than just when they see them, they're being taken to jail? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't want them to only contact me as if they're in trouble, Usually when people call the police, that's because they've exhausted all efforts to take care of what's going on. So then they call and police shows up. So that's one thing we talk to them about, understanding how to deal with those kind of situations. And when it's, everything else they've tried to win away, understand that that's somebody's family member, somebody's father, mother, child, whatever. And, just be that kind of personal touch with them. So they do a good job. Funding's limited. train people. It costs a lot of money to send somebody to the academy for them to be gone and cover the road while it's gone, but we're looking, we've hired one the other day. We're looking at 2 more in the next few weeks, so we'll be getting back to full staff here in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm personally getting my master's degree in criminal justice, so I've learned a whole lot on the academic side of policing, and it seems to me like that's a very important part of a community that we don't see enough of, and it warms my heart to see all these candidates here today or this weekend, because it gives the people in the community a chance to converse with these candidates, with these law enforcement officers on another level other than, you know, a negative situation.
And they can express their views and thoughts and what they think about what the policing should look like. And that's important. We need to know what people are looking for, where the problems are. You know, sometimes there could be problems we don't know about until we're told about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can head off situations that may become dangerous or, you know, whatever. But you're better off if you get public input on anything you do, whether it's some of our National Endowment for the Arts things we deal with, murals or whatever it ends up being. You know, we like to have public input and hear from people what they want, what they're looking for, and what they like to have.
Yeah, well, you hit it on the head there a second ago when you said every single person is somebody's child, mother, father. You know, and one of the problems that we have in our area is the amount of drug abuse that we have. And we are also seeing from some of these candidates the interest in getting into the school systems and educating our kids. Education is the #1 key to trying to prevent a future drug addict. And there's not one family in this area that has not been touched by drug abuse in some way, shape, or form. A lot of our kids already know what drug addiction is before they're getting the education.
Yeah, and that's a problem that they're dealing with nationwide.
Yes.
Some of the different conferences and deals I go to, they look at the different parts of it, whether it's education, if it's going to jail, if it's the faith-based or whatever it ends up being. And sometimes it takes a different combination for different people. One might work for one, won't work for everybody, and sometimes it takes a little while to figure that part out. But that's something we look at. It's not just getting them to jail and hoping the court system can do something with it. If they come to us and say, hey, you know, we need some help with something, we've got some resources available to get them into a center or faith-based help, whatever it might be. So, you know, it's not just about putting everybody in jail.
No.
It's trying to make a difference in somebody's life to want to get off of it.
Yeah. Well, more successful approaches are holistic. You know, they address each specific area of life. You know, it's not just a medical issue. It's not just, like you said, going to jail. You know, it's the mental health. We have such a problem with mental health here, and one of our our new jailer was talking about trying to get more mental health services into the jail.
That's definitely a piece of it, and more and more with the light being shed on the problem and the federal money trickling down and state money being available, you know, more beds are opened up in the facilities, more therapists, more of the people that's been through that process coming out and becoming therapists that really understands what it is to go through that and what it is to do it, and they make some great people to help with that.
Yeah. Well, you know as well as I do that there is a huge stigma when it comes to being a recovering addict even. That stigma never leaves. So what is your view on that for people when they have turned their lives around and something has worked for them, working with your city even? Do you see that as a positive thing, that they actually have that experience, that past experience to be able to draw from?
Well, and that's definitely something that's got to be looked at, because as more jobs are created, filling the pool for those folks is going to involve bringing people in like that. And not in like that as being a bad thing, but you may have the best worker you ever had come out of a program.
That's right.
Because they've seen the second chance and they've seen the the new opportunity that's been afforded them, and maybe the best workers that you could have.
Well, there's a great discrimination towards people when they have turned their lives around. Some people, some law enforcement even, have that us against them mentality, you know. It's more of a militaristic style approach. And so we're really excited that you've done such great things with Jenkins, and we're glad that you have given our ARC family the opportunity that you've given us to be able to get out here and put on these kinds of interviews for the community, for the county, for the people, so they can get to know our leaders, our county leaders and our city leaders, and we're grateful for that.
Well, it's public information, and that's what it's supposed to be about. And it, you know, some stuff's really good, some stuff's good, and some stuff's not so good. As far as things going on in the community, but what they need to understand is we're dealing with the same stuff they're dealing with in the western part of the state. I go to conferences and conventions with mayors from Glasgow and the western part of the state, and we're all dealing with the same thing. We're trying to put people back to work. We're trying to get people through addiction and these kind of problems, and but that's why we go to these type things, is to learn from other people. We meet with the health specialists from UK and try to get an idea of what we can do if we deal with something on a daily basis. When they show up and say, this is what I've got going on, what can you do, then we've got enough resources in one area or the other to help them.
Well, we thank you so much for talking to us, and we'll see you tomorrow at the Great Parade.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Jones with ARC TV, and we're still down here at Jenkins Days Festival, and we're talking to the VFW. Will you tell us your name and tell us what y'all are doing down here today?
Yes, my name is Charles Holland. I'm with the Veterans of Foreign War Post 5829 in Whitesburg, and we're just down here today doing a sign-up drive. Trying to get some membership and rebuild our post a little bit. We've been down on membership. A lot of the older members aren't active anymore, so we're trying to get some new members interested and tell them what the VFW has to offer.
A new generation,
yes,
huh? All right, so I'm guessing that you are a veteran.
I am. The thing that's unique about the Veterans of Foreign Wars is that we are an organization of combat veterans. All of our Class A members are combat veterans. They've served in a war overseas somewhere.
Where did you serve?
I served in Iraq in 2003.
Well, thank you for your service,
Thank you for
number
your support.
one. And well, we're grateful that you're down here today. Have you seen a lot of successful sign-ups?
Not yet. We just started here. We've talked to a lot of people out of state that's come in to see, I guess, just for the festival and see family. But we're going to be here till at least 9 o'clock tonight, and hopefully we'll get to meet some of the veterans over here in Jenkins.
Yeah. Is there just one place in Whitesburg that's
for the VFW, yes. There's only one VFW post in Letcher County, and that's the one in Whitesburg.
How many members do you have?
Right now we're at roughly 135, but there is 895 combat veterans in Letcher County. So
that was my next question.
We have our work cut out for us, and that's why we're out here really wanting to connect those guys.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that I was just talking to our mayor, Jenkins Mayor,
right,
Todd DePriest, and some of the candidates for sheriff about is community policing and how important it is for law enforcement and our leaders, period, to get out into the community and to start rebuilding that sense of community.
Right.
Like what you're saying, the numbers have dwindled. It's because we don't have that sense of community,
right,
like with the older generations.
Yes, ma'am, and that's something that we're trying to do too. As a matter of fact, tomorrow at the post, we're having a free pig roast for the members in the community, family, friends. We have a member that's going to be there all night tonight smoking a whole hog. So, and all that's going to be free. And last week we had the JROTC out of Letcher County Central. They came down and they worked cleaning our post, painted our kitchen. I couldn't tell you everything they done. They worked all day long. We fed them pizza, and they were just happy as they could be to be helping out.
Yeah, that's one good thing we can say about Letcher County is that we have an awesome JROTC.
We do.
They
They're
have
really
an
good
awesome
kids.
leader, and
Yes.
that makes the difference.
Yes.
The leadership makes the follower.
It does, and the Sarge there, he's going to be participating in our essay program that we have. We have the Voice of Democracy and Patriots pen. One is for the elementary school and the middle school, and one's for the high school. It's a scholarship program that we have, and they're also going to be participating in that.
Are you guys going to be taking part in the parade tomorrow?
No, we won't be over here for that. We've got so much going on with the pig roast and everything tomorrow. They asked us to be, but we just wasn't prepared for it this year.
Yeah, well, it's something to prepare for next year.
We will. We'd be honored.
They told us that they start planning on the next year's event the month after this closes. So it's a year-round full-time job putting these together, and well, we're grateful for you talking to us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and so I'm Elizabeth Jones, and we're with ARC TV, and we're down here at Jenkins Days Festival. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Jones with ARC TV, and we're still down here at Jenkins Days Festival, and we have come across Miss Linda Willoughby, who is our celebrity artist this year, every year, and we're grateful that you're here today. You want to tell us a little bit about what brings you down to this area and what keeps bringing you back to this area?
It just feels like home coming here. Homecoming is a good name for this show, and everybody's just like one big family here. And the scenery here and the history is just awesome. I love it here.
Appalachian region,
Yes.
Appalachian history.
Yes, right.
I see in a lot of your work, you have the Appalachian heart.
Fever. I have Appalachian fever. That's
Yes. So do you come? How many years have you been coming?
to the show.
To the Jenkins Days Festival.
Just 2 times. That's it. Just 2 years. Just 2 years.
You plan on keep coming?
Oh yes.
Yes.
As long as they want me.
Yeah. Well, where are you from?
Actually, I have property here now, hoping to build a little retirement cabin, but I live in Bowling Green also.
So that's a pretty good long distance to travel.
Yeah, I got to come an extra day. Got to start out early.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I personally know about you is that when you come, you sleep in the back of your truck.
I do. Couple of reasons. Save money.
Yes.
And the second one, if a big windstorm, rainstorm comes, I can run and get everything under plastic real quick. So I try to stay nearby.
Well, you are one of the strongest, most inspirational women that I have ever met. And I love you very dearly, and I'm very grateful that you took the time to come, that you keep taking the time to come, and that you share your beautiful heart and your beautiful talent with the people of Appalachia.
Thank you. Sunday, I'm going to stay over an extra day. We're actually going to go out plein air painting and find some new locations. So I'm going to keep adding to it.
Have you ever thought about being an art teacher?
I teach a little bit on the side.
Is it basically just a hobby for yourself?
It's kind of grown beyond that.
Well, yes, of course, but...
Yeah, I love teaching, especially children.
Do you?
I do. I do.
You find that rewarding for yourself?
Yes. Well, all ages, but children are special.
What do you see that comes out in your art? What part of your heart comes out in your art more than anything?
My feeling for a place is just like the snow scene back there. That was one of my first impressions of coming up here. Many years ago, it was a big, heavy snow. I was terrified I was going to go off a cliff. But I remember that snow, and that's not exactly like it was, but it was in my mind, so I couldn't wait to get back and paint it. And the old Burdine store, I remember going in there and buying a bologna sandwich and an RC. Of course, the gas pump wasn't there, but I remember it. And I remember standing on Highway 23, which is now 805, and doing the Burdine Elementary.
You said to me the other day that people will tell you stories, and then you imagine it in your mind and you paint it then.
Right, that's like the one over here of the moonshine still, I was told that he ran moonshine in high school, and that was his first car. So I just added the story of where the feds have caught up with him. The moonshine was hid behind a rock at a designated place, and he's loading it. He's got his trunk up, but he gets peppered with fire from the feds, and they've busted one, and he's mad. So here comes the moonshiner who made it, and he's hid up in the hills. And so that's kind of the story I put together.
Your art has so much. It's so much more than just a picture. There's always a story behind it. Yesterday we came through here, and you were telling us about this one here, the lost grave of Sam. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
When I first learned that story, it's just really has bugged me ever since that stone is laying there, and nobody seems to know where his grave is. So I'm learning a little bit about him. I know he was a white gentleman, and he had left one child behind, and she died at the age of 70s when he was when he was 36. He had a 2 or 3 year old daughter that he left behind. So, it just bugs me that his stone is not on his grave and nobody knows where it is, and I would like to see it put back there, wherever it is.
Well, that's one thing about this, putting this out here, is that maybe there's a viewer out there that has some information about the Sam Adams tombstone.
I'm hoping. The gentleman died from pneumonia after having an appendectomy, and that's about all I know. But why his stone is laying there in the ditch for nearly 100 years, I don't know. But I just want it put back where it's not put back, but put where it belongs.
Yes, we have to find where it belongs. All right, so if anybody has any information about that, get a hold of us at ARC-TV, and we'll get a hold of Miss Linda Willoughby. So thank you, Miss Linda, for talking to us, and it's always such a joy to see you, and we'll see you later. Thank you. I'm Elizabeth Jones with ARC-TV, and we'll see you next time.